Hi, my name is Rori Nogee, and I will be reading FroggirL from Fairy Tales for Bad Girls by Jennifer Grym. Every time she opened her mouth, a frog popped out. This embarrassed the crap out of her when it first started, you can imagine. She'd never been much of a talker, though, so she quickly adjusted. She learned to express most of her opinions with a shy smile, a respectful nod, or a polite shake of the head. She was a little amazed and frankly disappointed in how much of the world went right on without her input. With her mouth clamped tightly shut, she moved silently through all her days. "She's so nice," people would say. "So sweet. She totally helped me get over that messy breakup." Sometimes when she was alone, she'd say a few words, and every time she opened her mouth, a frog popped out. If she ever wanted to sing a song, she'd have to go outside, find a nice lake or some sort of puddle at least, because by the time she'd get to the chorus, there'd be frogs hopping and ribbiting all over the place. She did a lot of writing. A lot. Spent most of her days with a journal next to her, wearing out pens, letting the paper know how the world really should be run. And after years of this, quiet years with notebooks and notebooks filled with writing, she decided to show someone. She spent months researching writing programs, writing advisors, writing workshops, trying to figure out which one would be best for her. And then she spent weeks researching the campus layout because she knew she could never ask for directions. Finally, the day came when she had her first class. She woke up early. She was so excited she couldn't sleep at all. It never occurred to her to imagine that she had butterflies in her stomach, not considering her own animal-based literal experiences, but that's what she felt like. She had submitted her very best creative nonfiction piece. She knew hearing feedback could be tough, but she knew more than most, more than anyone, maybe, exactly how to keep her mouth shut and learn what she needed to learn. She found the classroom. She sat right in front. She pulled her brand new notebook and waited. It was not what she had expected. Nothing like it. The professor was, well, he was mean. There was really no other word for it. He ripped apart one story and its creator, and then the next one, and the next. Every weakness he pounced on, every shining moment he tore out and dumped it in the mud. She shrank down into her seat, but there would be no escape for her. Her piece came next. She braced herself. He started right in. Opening weak. Middle, boring. Metaphors, pointless. Even when he started writing as a child, many years ago, he'd never have written clunky, awkward sentences like this. She never fully knew what happened next. Did she gasp at the sting of his criticisms, or did she actually try to say something? What could she possibly have said, have imagined would have made any difference? But for whatever reason, her mouth opened. And every time she opened her mouth, a frog popped out. Amphibious frogs. Swampy and thick. He didn't even stop. He was so enjoying his diatribe. Her imagery, derivative. Her use of repetition, juvenile at best. She opened her mouth again. Another one. Then another, swelling up inside her, then out through her mouth, no matter how hard she fought against them. She was fighting against them, wasn't she? The other students started jumping up, some screaming, some laughing. Frogs leapt, climbed, croaked, sat. One landed right on his tie. For a moment, she felt that everything stopped. The destruction, the commotion, the confusion, all paused for a moment. The professor looked down. The frog looked up. What? But it was too late. The frogs kept coming, sticking, chorusing with each other, hopping up his thighs, landing along his arms and atop his shoulders, landing on his head. She clapped her hands over her mouth. She pressed both hands over her mouth, biting down so hard she ground her teeth and bit her lip. She fled the campus. Keeping one hand over her mouth, she reached down, grabbed her things, and ran out. She covered her mouth and moved on. I am a singer-songwriter, actress, and playwright. You can follow me on Instagram at Roreen, R-O-A-R-E-E-N, or at Siren's Den Musical, which is the Instagram for the rock musical that I wrote book music and lyrics for that was produced in New York City. If not for the pandemic, I would be premiering in the new off-Broadway musical called Love Quirks at St. Luke's Theater in New York City. Maybe soon. Anyway, I loved fairy tales for bad girls. There are so many stories of princesses being damsels in distress, waiting for their man, their prince to come and rescue them. But in these stories, these are independent, fiery princesses who are very grounded in their own sexuality and sensuality. They are just very powerful, strong women, and we need more stories like that in this world. So I really appreciated reading that perspective, and it was saucy.